Today we're going to learn how to create trails from parts of a character, like hands, arms, and more. So let's see it. Okay, so here I am in Blender and I have this frame animation that I download from the website mixamo.com, where you can get as many frame animations as you want. And basically what I want is to create like a line that follows one part of the body of this character, to create like a trail with the motion of the movement of this character. So I'm going to show you how to do this, and later you can apply this effect as many times as you want. For example, for the elbow, for the head, for the back, whatever you want. It's the same effect, it's the same technique. So before we do that, I want to loop this character because it stops here, and I want to make it run forever so we can see better the trail. So let's loop this really fast. Let's select this character, but not like this because we want to see the keyframes. We need to select here, armature, and now we can see the keyframes, and let's go to Graph Editor. Now, with all the keyframes selected, there is a line here that we cannot see it, but we need to see this line because we want to make this line continue. So with everything selected, let's go to View and select Frame All to see this line. Now, I want to make this character follow this direction forever. So this direction is this line. So let's select one dot of this line, and now if you press L, you're going to select all the keyframes of this line, because what we want is to make this line continuous. So this character will continue in this direction. Now with all these keyframes selected, let's go to Hips, open this, and you can see that this selection is the same like this line. So what we have to do first of all is to make this continue. So press Shift E and select Linear Extrapolation. And as you can see, it continues. So if I press play, we have this animation loop. Continue forever. Now we want to loop all the other keyframes, but we need to lock this first. So with all this selected, let's click here. So now we cannot select this. As you can see, perfect. Now what we want is to loop the other movements, the other animations. So let's press A, going to make a zoom. I want to loop this, the running animation. So we need to see here something that says modifiers, but we cannot see it. Let's select any keyframe, it doesn't matter which one. And now we can see modifiers. But before we apply a modifier, we need to select all the keyframes. So let's press A and go to modifiers and select cycles. And as you can see, we are looping this animation forever. Perfect. So now we have this guy running like Forrest Gump. Now, what we have to do is to create an empty and attach it to the bone that we want. So let's select this view and let's create an empty. For example, this one. And I want to attach it here in this part. So how we do that? I'm going to select this view just to see better the line of parenting the empty with the bone. And I'm going to hide, first of all, the joints and the surface, because I want to see the bones. Okay, however, if I click here, I'm selecting everything. So what we can do to parent this object to a bone? What you have to do is to select, first of all, the empty, and now select the armature with Shift. Actually, no, sorry, not with Shift. We need to select first the empty, and with Control, select the armature. Because what we want is to have the empty in red, because we need to parent this to follow the armature. Once you have the empty in red and the armature selected, go to Pose Mode, and now select the bone that you want the object follows the movement. So now in Pose Mode, we can select any bone, as you can see. So basically, I want this one. One thing really important is that when you select this one, it will be attached to this. So, for example, if I want to attach it here, then I'm going to say this one, because I want this empty to attach here. And now, remember, we have this empty selected. If you press Ctrl P, you can parent this empty to this bone with Ctrl P and select not object, select bone. And as you can see, I have this line telling me that now this empty is going to follow this part of the bone. Remember, to do this, you need to select first the empty and then the armature and select the bone. So now as you can see, look, the empty is inside the armature. I'm going to undo this so you can see better. Now it's not inside because it's not parent. And now let's do it again. Ctrl P, bone. Perfect. Now we can go out and we can move this to fix the location. As you can see, look, it's following this bone. Let's fix this with this view because it's better. And let's move the empty, and I'm going to move it just in the location. And now let's change the view, this one, because as you can see, the empty is here and not here. So let's move it again. And now, as you can see, it's perfectly in this location. So if I show again everything else, you will see that the empty is following this part of the body. Okay, now what we can do is to go to Geometry Nodes and create a trail. So let's go to Geometry Nodes, and to create a trail, what we have to do is to select one part of the body, can be, for example, the joints, and let's apply a Geometry Node. So, how we do that? How we create a line? This is really easy. The only thing we have to do, let me lock this, is to use simulation nodes. Let's connect this here, and this we don't need it. So we need points, and we want to join these points in the middle of simulation nodes. Remember, when we join this here, what it's going to do is that every frame is going to make a copy of this point. So if I press play, nothing happens because all the points are in the same position. So what I have to do is to use the position of the empty. So let's use object info, select the empty, and connect location to position. And now if I press play, we don't see anything because there is something wrong. Okay, I think the problem is that they are too small and I cannot see them. Actually, why I cannot see them? Let me think one moment. Relative. Okay, this was the problem, sorry. We need to select relative. If not, they are in the same position. So as you can see, I can make them bigger if you want. We are creating points in the position of the empty, remember, in relative. Just with this. And the only thing we have to do now is to use points to curve to convert all these points in one single curve. So thanks to this, we have this trail, as you can see. And you will see that this trail have like parts a bit jaggy, a bit like that. So to make it smoother, a simple tip is to apply set spline, type, and select, look at this, NURBS. And now will be smoother, as you can see. And this is the base to create this effect. Now that you have a curve, what you can do is to apply a mesh to give a material, to give color, glow, and also if you want, you can apply a lifetime to make this trail shorter, so it ends. If you don't know how to do this, I'm going to show you really fast. What we have to do is to create and store name attribute with the age of these points. So let me disconnect this for now. And what I want is to store the age. So let's call this age. Let's select integer. And we want to use a math node and select one value. That means that every frame is going to stack one value in this list. But what we want is to reuse this list, this age attribute. So every frame is going to remember the previous value and is going to add another value. That means that is like a number. So in the frame 1 will be 1, in the frame 2, 2, etc. So to this technique, what we have to do is to use name attribute and reuse the attribute that we created. Let's copy this, paste it here, and connect it here. So with this, we create an age. Let's call it age. And you can see this if I press play and we see in the spreadsheet. And the points have this age. So if I press play, you will see that the first points have an older age. Okay, now with this list, with this attribute, what we can do is to say the points that are older than something, for example, 10, 20, whatever, delete them. So later, the trail will be shorter. So to do this, what we have to do is to use here delete geometry. And we need to say delete what is greater than this list. So let's reuse this list, connect it here, and this will be the lifetime. So for example, delete all the points in this list that are greater than 20. And as you can see, the points that are older than 20 are being deleted. So thanks to this, let's call this lifetime. Now, if we activate this again, you will see that we have this effect. And remember, you can repeat this technique with other entities. So what I will do is to, for example, create another entity, attach it to another bone, and here you can use this setup and use this, but with the location of the other entity. So you will have two trails. I'm going to do it really fast. And now let's duplicate this. And here let's select the second entity. And connect this here. And in theory, it should work. So let's see it. And it's working, but the problem is that it's connecting both lines. So to avoid this problem, okay, because what is happening, look, if I mute this, you will see that it's working. We have two trails of points. As you can see, it's working perfectly. The problem is that when we use points to curve, it connects both points. So to avoid this problem, what we have to do is to use here the index of the original points. So how we do that? To do this, what we have to do is to, for example, use join geometry. And let's connect this here. And here we're going to get the index of these points with a store name attribute. Let's call this index point. Let's select integer. And let's use index. So thanks to this, we are storing the index of the original points. So basically only two indexes, this one and this one. If you add more entities, you will have more numbers. And now we need to send this information here with a name attribute. Let's select index point. And now you will see that when I connect this here, Basically, if we start again, it should work, as you can see. So this basically is saying, hey, use this index to create a group for each curve. So basically, don't join both points. And that's all. Now, if you want, what you can do is to apply here a curve to mesh. I'm going to do it really fast. And we can apply a set material. Let's go to the shape editor and let's select, for example, let's get a new material. And let's make it bright, for example, I don't know, blue. And let's come back to geometry nodes. And here let's select the new material that should be this one. And let's apply a glow. Let's go to compositor. Let's activate the nodes and apply glare. And select, for example, bloom. Let's come back to geometry nodes. And to see the bloom, remember, we need to go here and select always. And if you want to make this more narrow, then what we have to do is to use here set curve radius and use the spline parameter. Spline parameter in factor, as you can see. So this part will be more narrow than this part. And if you want to multiply this, what you can do is to use a math node in multiply and increase this. So as you can see, we can make these trails bigger at the beginning and like this at the end. So finally, we have this effect, as you can see. And if you want to make the trail longer, remember, in lifetime we can make it longer, for example, 50. And now, if we start again, it will be longer. But I'm going to leave it in 20. And that's all for today, guys. I hope you learned something new. And if you like this video, please give a like, subscribe, and remember, you can donate this project and more than 100 on my Patreon. And see you in the next tutorial.